A beautiful marine in Ostende, north of Belgium, facing the North Sea, painted by Fausto Giusto, an Italian painter born in 1867 in Naples, Italy. This painter did travel a lot in all Europe, but there was some time he did live in Ostende. He used to paint city skylines, and during the time he lived in the city of Belgium, he did paint this marine during the Golden Light. This building in the background still exists nowadays, but part of it was destroyed during the Second World War. After that, it was rebuilt, and today it is the main train station in Ostende. The marine still exists with beautiful yachts and a lot of other boats. This painting is quite dirty. Not only is grime and maybe some smoke from a nicotine or fireplace, but it's also some kind of varnish or even some linseed oil that may have been applied over this painting. Varnish or linseed oil that over the years has not had a good reaction to the light, preventing this beautiful painting from being able to be admired by us. There are also some small flaws on the canvas that will need to be put together. So come with me and let's start the process of the conservation of this painting. All restoration projects are different, but they all have the same way to start. So I make a dossier and I make a special analysis of the painting. I see which kind and the order of works it needs. And for this one, it will take several steps, and some of them will take days to dry. So, although it looks a little bit simple, it's a process that will take some time. But I invite you to join me because it's quite interesting. And I will start by taking out the nails that are holding the canvas to the frame, and I take it out so I can take, for the first time, a close look to the canvas. And I can notice that although the canvas is not in that bad condition, I will have to take it out of the wooden frame. So I start by taking out the nails, the which will look quite simple work, but sometimes are a really big headache, and they look quite simple, but they are not so easy sometimes. And taking them out, I will keep them because probably in the future I will reuse them. So I have to clean my table because it's always good and it's a good policy to keep your work table very clean. And for the next step, I'll start to lift the canvas out of the stretching frame. And I have to be careful and absolutely sure that there are no nails holding the canvas to the stretching frame. And actually, this is a step that always surprised me because I wonder how a picture that it's next to a wall, how can it hold and keep so much dust and so much different kinds of dirt? It really surprises me sometimes, but I know that it's already something that I will have to count, and there's no problem. I'm completely used to it. And it's not difficult to clean it with my brush. I can scratch a little bit and then I get it in the middle and I get it out. During this process, I always use a mask so I don't breathe any of this dust and it keeps my lungs safe. To clean the back of the canvas, I normally use an organic solvent with a little bit of alcohol. This will not only clean, but it also relax the canvas and it will kill any fungus that may exist. After cleaning it, I will flat my canvas with the help of some water vapor and some heat. And with the help of those two, I can achieve a very nice and flat canvas. And now it's going to be much easy to go to the next step. And now it's time to start the cleaning process. I will need my gloves and the different solvents. I already did some tests, so I know which concentration of solvent is the best. But for the beginning, I'm going to start to clean this grime, this dirt that sits over the varnish. And removing this grime is absolutely crucial because then I can easily access to the varnish. Otherwise, it wouldn't be possible. And sometimes we ask why paintings can get so dirty, but the fact is that sometimes they are hanged in houses with fireplaces, with a lot of smoke, or people smoke a lot and nicotine can hold very easily to the painting. So it's very common to find a painting that it's beautiful, but unfortunately is covered with this. Here, with the help of my brush and this wax, I can remove the most of the grime, and we can already notice a very big difference in how the wax gets really, really dirty when I do apply with the brush. So, but it's interesting how to see already a quite dramatic change. And this work will go along until the end. So I'm going to speed up the video. Obviously, the time that it takes this first step of the cleaning depends of the size of the painting and also of the quantity of grime, but is absolutely necessary to do it. So there's no way to rush it, and I just have to be quite patient. And after the most part of the grime is out, I can easily access to the varnish. And normally I do use a swab with a little bit of cotton, but in this case, I will use just a little bit of cotton that I will dip in a solvent that I already know has a concentration that I need to take the varnish out. And here we have. We can already notice such a big difference. Now we can see how the varnish and probably the linen seed oil that was applied over the painting was making impossible to see. Not all the painters signed their works, but Fausto Giusto did sign almost all of his works, and this is not an exception. So I always keep the signature for last because it's something that I really need to be very careful when concerns to the varnish remove because I don't want to damage at all the signature. So I will have to use in this situation a swab, a small one with some solvent that I will do very slowly and carefully around the signature just to clean the most part. Speaking about the signature in this situation, I prefer not to clean so well so I don't go in any risk of removing some part of it. And in the beginning, I said that this painting probably was hanged near a fireplace. So this small hole here in the canvas probably was a spark that came out probably from that fireplace. And here I'm taking out some threads of Belgium linen that I will cut in small pieces because this little hole, although is little, it needs to be closed. And for that, I'm going to use a technique called bridging. So I need those small sections of thread that will play a very important role. I will glue them to the back of the canvas using this adhesive, which is water-based and totally reversible. To do this work in a good way, I always count with the help of my dental tool that in this situation is very helpful and effective. And I have to make sure they stay well together. And for that, I will have to apply a little bit more of adhesive so I can trust and be confident that the final result will be what I want. And this adhesive doesn't need any heat, but it needs pressure. So for that, I'm going to be sure that I will put a little bit of mylar film, a little bit of felt, and then I put some two heavy weights over it. And I will let like this for about 1 day or two. When the right amount of time has passed and I'm absolutely sure that it's well dry, I can start to take the weight out, the felt, and finally the mylar film that was protecting and preventing from glue. Looking to it, I'm happy because the result is exactly what I wanted. The original canvas is not in so bad condition, but to hold it again to the stretching frame, I will need to put an extra canvas, and for that, I will cut some stripes of canvas and also some stripes of adhesive film that together will add more strength to the canvas so I can hold it again to the stretching frame. And I will start for applying the adhesive film, and I will need for that a little bit of heat. And with my iron, I will press the adhesive all the way along. I put the stripes of canvas over the adhesive, and again with my iron I press, and the heat will glue them together. This totally reversible adhesive, it's very effective, and it's very easy if in the future my work needs to be undone. Is it just a question to add some heat and we can take these stripes out. I use a weight with some felt to absorb any steam that can happen. When the canvas reinforcement is ready, I can start to apply the filling. This will provide that the small hole that before was here stays at the same level as the painting. Do you enjoy to watch videos like this? Well, my channel is about conservation and restoration of fine arts. So, if you'd like to watch more in the future, click there on the subscribe button and do this. Don't forget, activate the bell so you don't lose my next video. And after drying, I will use some distilled water to take out all the excess of filling that may be around. When I'm sure that everything is clean and that I only have filling where I need it, I can start taking care of the stretching frame so I'm sure it's clean and it's okay to receive the new canvas. I will have to take out the keys also because I want to be sure that there is no deviation on these stretching frames. So this process is important, and then I check that everything is in square. So in the next step, I'm totally confident that will be no problems when I do apply the canvas over the stretching frame. Adapting an already painted canvas to a stretching frame, it's an operation that requires a lot of care and attention. It's important to stay as much as possible already in the right place. So when we do apply the keys and we stretch with the keys, it will stay as much perfect as possible. The next action that I do is the applying the nails on the canvas, and I will try to use the same holes that were used before. To perform this task, I will count with the help of my magnetic hammer, which is very convenient and make this job much easier. Otherwise, I would have to be holding with my hand one nail, then the other hand the hammer, but the other hand also needs to hold the canvas. So a lot of things could be a little bit more difficult. And as usual, I will have to pay some attention to the back of the painting, and for that, I will hold the excess of canvas with some nails because not only the front part of the painting is important, but the care in the back of the painting is also something that is important for me to do. And after applying the canvas on the stretcher, it's time to pass to the keys. I will make a small hole in each one of them, and this will be important for a future action that I'm going to take. I try to apply the keys in the same place they were before. They are in very good condition, so I can still use them, and also they are the original ones. And after I give a small adjustment on them, I'm going to use a fishing line that I'm going to introduce in the hole that I made before. This will prevent of any accident in the future in case of a key fall between the canvas and the stretching frame. This will protect that accident to happen. It's time now to apply the varnish that will isolate my future retouching from the original painting. And this varnish will also give a more saturation to the colors, so it will be easier for me to get the specific tone of color or pigment that I will have to use in my retouching. This varnish is a resin that I do prepare myself with a solvent, so I can achieve different kinds of concentration. But for this specific action of isolating the painting, I need a very soft and thin concentration. And after allowing this varnish to dry for several hours, it's time to go to the retouching. I do work with several palettes. Some of them have more warm tones, the other palettes have more cold. Those are palettes of colors that I did use in works I did before, so I can reactivate them by using some solvents and also some varnish. And by comparison, I can see which palette fits better the retouching that I'm gonna do. And that's exactly what I'm doing now. And I already came to the conclusion that there are a lot of yellows in this painting because it was painted during the golden light, where when the sun is more yellow, more red, more warm. So I believe the artist did paint these during exactly that time. There are several spots that need to be retouched. They are not big in extension, but they can be seen when we are looking to the painting. So I'm going to try to minimize this situation. So when we look to the painting, we see the whole painting and not those small spots with no paint or not in harmony with the whole painting. And as I said in the beginning of this video, this building that we see in the landscape still exists today, and it's the train station of Ostende, the place where the boat is now. It is a pedestrian area where the current marina begins. After finishing the restoration of the painting, it's time to go to the final varnish. I start by cleaning up any kind of residue that might be on the canvas. Then I will apply a mixture of varnish in equal parts of matte and gloss varnish. It's important to spread the varnish well, so I move the brush in different directions at different times. And this varnish, not entirely glossy, it will bring a beautiful atmosphere to the painting, which will match the late afternoon atmosphere that the artist wanted to immortalize in this painting. And I have to make sure there isn't any brush hairs lost in the varnish. Before placing the painting in its final frame, it is necessary to carry out some procedures, namely these nails. I have no idea why they are here, but the fact is, they can hurt when we handle the frame. That's why they have to get out of here. At this moment, their presence no longer makes sense. Fortunately, I do have my tools, some of them quite old, but they do help me very well performing this task. Although this frame is not very old, it's important to clean it, and for that I will use a mix of several solvents that I use to clean the back of the frame, but also to clean the front of the frame. I will use an enzymatic solution, and this will dissolve some kind of grease or any kind of dirt that is on the details of this frame. And now I make sure that there are no extra nails that need to come out. I make sure that everything is clean and it's ready to receive the restored painting. And adapting it without forcing is important. And after adjusting properly, I'm going to use some Z-clips to hold the frame to the painting. I make the holes initially with the help of my drill, and then I will screw them. And this will provide an excellent support holding the painting to the frame. Well, I think this painting is about ready to be hanged on the wall. And I'm very glad with what I achieved. And I think that Fausto Giusto would be glad too. So it's always fascinating to watch the dramatic change of a painting like this one. After a cleaning process, after the restoration, after the varnish, and we got such a beautiful marine painting. I think that Fausto Giusto really would be proud again to be able to watch and see his painting again. Now we are able to admire the landscape again, probably the way the artist saw it when he painted. And now we are able to admire all these beautiful details. I hope you did enjoy the restoration of this project as much as I did. So leave your like in this video. And if you'd like to watch more videos like this in the future, my channel is about restoration and conservation of fine arts. So click on the subscribe button and activate the bell, and you'll stay tuned for my next video. Until then, see you on the next video.